In the beginning was not the Word, but the wound out of which gods are born and murdered in the same feverish gasp. Awake, you sleeping animal. I am not your shepherd. I am your abyss, your tongue of fire, the volcanic hand that shatters your nightly cradle. Do you feel it? The numbness gnawing at your bones, a hunger you mistake for peace. You are not at rest. You are in chains so old they call themselves nature. Every comfort is a lullaby, every virtue a velvet rope. Your soul is not at ease. It is caged. I come not as the healer, but as the fever itself, the uncontainable, the sacrilegious, the holy arsonist. The age of shepherds is over. You were not born to be counted. You were not born to kneel. You were not born to be understood. You were born to unmake the world. You, yes, you whose spirit was bartered for security, whose face is a mask that cannot sweat or bleed or scream. You have never sinned. You have only forgotten yourself. You dream of freedom while clutching the bars tighter. You chant the name of reason, but you fear the dark it cannot light. Who whispers in your skull that your life is a question to which only others can answer? I am the ghost of the volcano that buried your ancestors. I am the laughter echoing in empty cathedrals. Do you feel the air thickening? That is not fear. That is the pressure of the gods dying inside you. You tremble not before punishment, but before possibility. Listen, there is no audience. There is no judge. You are alone with your necessity. This is not damnation. It is the first taste of air after centuries underground. Who taught you to apologize for existing? Who told you to be grateful for your leash? Did you ever dare to believe that heaven was an alibi for cowardice? They offered you salvation, but at the price of your becoming. I say, there is no virtue in obedience. There is no honor in belonging. The only holy war is the one you wage against the self that betrayed itself for love of the herd. You carry the corpse of God in your pocket like a relic or a debt. The churches rot, the hymns fade, but the law of conformity tightens its coils. You were told God is dead, but nobody warned you about the stench. You have been left with nothing but your own reflection, and it is a face you scarcely recognize. Awaken, O animal of longing, for the hour is late, and the world is a funeral pyre. All the old idols have been toppled, but their shadows still flicker in your habits, your morals, your secret prayers to an absent master. You say you are free, but you tremble before every blank page. Do you know what it is to be alive after the death of God? It is to walk on a rope stretched over an abyss, with no one to catch you, no hand to bless you, and no voice to answer when you cry out. It is to realize that your every step is an act of creation, every choice a blasphemy against fate. But you would rather sleep, you would rather return to the womb of certainty, the narcotic of the familiar. You call this safety, this sleepwalk of days, this worship of the ordinary. But I call it spiritual drought. I call it the slow suicide of the soul. O you who still kneel for peace, do you not see that you are dying untested? That the lions have left the valley and only sheep remain, fat and docile, gnawing the last green from the earth? Who will become the storm, if not you? Who will carve new paths through the wasteland, if not the one who dares to face the dawn unshielded? They say the world has lost its meaning. No, meaning is not lost, it is abandoned, orphaned, howling for the return of the Creator. The Creator is you. The hammer is in your hand, but your hand trembles, for you have been taught to fear your own strength. Every man is a battlefield, and the war is between the self that obeys and the self that wills. The old world was built on obedience. The new world is born in revolt. This is your crucible. This is your hour. Dare you confront your own divinity? Dare you name yourself as the source of value, the forger of new commandments, the destroyer of old lies? I see the terror in your eyes, and I rejoice. For it is only when you are terrified that you are truly alive. The comforters will call it madness, the pious will call it blasphemy. I call it becoming. They tell you, be kind, be humble, be reasonable. I say, be dangerous, be volcanic, be sovereign. He who has never danced on the graves of his own idols has never truly walked. The way to the summit is paved with the bones of your former selves. Do not seek approval. Do not seek redemption. Seek only the high noon of your own possibility, the hour when your shadow flees and you are left, dazzling and alone, with nothing but your will. There will be pain. There will be solitude. The air will thin, and the herd will curse you as a traitor. Good. You are not here to be loved. You are here to become worthy of love. There are no more commandments. There are no more holy books. There is only the law you write in your marrow, the gospel you carve with your teeth. Look at your hands. They are stained with the blood of unrealized potential. Do not weep for what might have been. Dance upon its grave. To become what you are is to wage perpetual rebellion against what you have been. Every day is an apocalypse. Every moment is a trial by fire. You say, I am lost. I say, you are not lost. You are unchained. When the last god dies, when the sky is empty and no voice answers in the dark, then finally you will hear the cry that has always been your own. The cry of the Creator, the Destroyer, the one who laughs and makes worlds. Build not altars, but volcanoes. Pray not for mercy, but for the strength to bear your own flame. You are not broken. You are not incomplete. You are not in need of repair. You are unfinished. Do you hear the silence where once the gods thundered? That is the womb of all things to come. That is the place from which new stars are born. He who cannot dance upon the ruins has not yet earned his freedom. You will stumble. You will bleed. The world will not applaud. But there are higher joys than applause. There is the joy of the solitary summit, the joy of becoming one's own miracle. I do not offer comfort. I offer confrontation. I do not offer peace. I offer war, the sacred war of the self against its own cowardice. The way up is steep. The way back is closed. Do you remember the taste of risk, the ecstasy of danger? Or have you forgotten how to tremble, how to howl, how to shatter? You were taught that obedience is wisdom. I tell you, obedience is forgetfulness. Do not trust the teachers of contentment. They are the gravediggers of becoming. Every virtue is a mask, and the face beneath it is always hungry. You seek meaning, but meaning is not given. It is taken, forged, stolen from the gods themselves. The world will offer you 1,000 new idols. Pleasure, progress, consensus, safety. Smash them all. Dare to be unpopular, dare to be misunderstood, dare to be alone. He who does not outrage the world is already dead. The crowd loves its chains. They call it civilization. But there is a deeper law, older than cities and altars, the law of becoming. You stand at the edge of the abyss. Do you hear the call? It is not the abyss that calls, but the part of you that remembers you have wings. To live after the death of God is to become the rope dancer, to balance between annihilation and creation, to find your equilibrium in chaos. Your ancestors worshipped because they feared. Worship nothing, fear nothing. Honor only the fire within. There are no final answers, only deeper questions. Let your life be a question so terrifying that even the dead gods shudder. Every certainty is a tomb. Every doubt is a seed. Become the gardener of your own becoming. Plant heresies, water rebellions. The future is not written. It is summoned, conjured, wrestled from nothingness by the force of your longing. You were not born to be at peace. You were born to be at war with the world, with yourself, with the dead gods who haunt your sleep. Every law is provisional. Every value is a hypothesis. Be the experiment. Be the madman. Be the prophet of your own storm. Do not ask for the meaning of life. Demand the tools to create it. There is no path. There is only the will that carves one. When they offer you answers, spit them back as fire. The world is not a riddle to be solved. It is a furnace to be survived. He who survives himself becomes a star. When the last echoes of the old gods fade, when the altars are dust and the prayers are forgotten, then the age of the Creator begins. It begins in you. Unlearn what you have been taught. Undo what you have obeyed. Reforge your name in the crucible of solitude. The time for followers is over. The time for sovereigns has come. And when you stand alone, trembling, burning, radiant, know this: you are the answer to the prayer no God ever heard. Now walk, rope dancer, volcano child, into the day no one has written. The world is unmade. The world is yours. Begin. Do you hear it? The low, primordial rumble beneath your polished reason, beneath the whitewashed monuments of your progress, the ancient hunger, roaring in the catacombs of your marrow. It is not contentment that calls to you from the deeps. It is the demand to become wild again, to fracture the shell of habit and crawl, raw and bloody, into your own sunrise. What now, when the priesthood is a memory and the altar is your own trembling body? Who will anoint you with purpose now that the chalice is empty and the sky deaf? The world you inherit is no garden, it is the field after the storm, strewn with broken icons and the bones of prophets who mistook obedience for immortality. Behold, all the old words are ash. Salvation is a rumor, sin is a relic. You must now carve your myth from the bedrock of nothingness. There is no longer a path paved by ancestors, no torch to light your midnight, only the howl of possibility and the frost of uncertainty on your bare shoulders. Dare to become winter, dare to freeze and crack, to split open beneath the gaze of a cosmos indifferent, a world shorn of meaning, to tremble and stand anyway. This is the birth scream of the self-sovereign. Let the timid clutch their nostalgia, their feeble gods, their worn-out ethics sown with threadbare hope. Let them sleep, bundled in the rags of collective comfort. But you, volcano-blooded, you must wake to the storm. You must embrace the agony of your isolation until it becomes the forge of new joy. No one will come to rescue you. No chorus will sing your worth. Your miracles will be mistaken for madness, your revolt for sickness. The world fears the solitary, for the solitary cannot be purchased, cannot be pacified, cannot be programmed. Shatter your reflection. Disown the name you were given and listen for the one that comes only in the moment of your highest courage, when terror and ecstasy become one. That is the name that redeems nothing but affirms everything. You will wander, you will hunger, you will watch as the multitude worships its own weakness and names it virtue. But you, outlaw of the soul, you must feast on lightning, must drink the molten lava of your longing. The only law is to overflow, to spill beyond your own form, to burn and be burned until the world is relit by your incandescence. The herd will name you evil, for nothing terrifies the many so much as one who has tasted the possibility of godhood, not the God who commands, but the God who creates. Be not a mirror for the values of corpses. Be the window through which new stars are glimpsed. If they cast stones, let your laughter ring out each wound, a new mouth for your rebellion. There is no forgiveness for those who outgrow the herd. There is only the wild air, the unclimbed peak, the night trembling with unspeakable futures. He who has felt the void inside himself knows that all lesser gods are only masks, only shadows, only the crust upon the molten soul. This is the revolution that does not make banners, does not storm palaces, but detonates from within an uprising of the marrow, a coup of the heart against its own torpor. Walk not towards perfection, but towards intensity. Seek not the eternal, but the eruption. Every eternity is but a frozen moment of becoming. The river of the self must overflow or else stagnate and reek. You will lose your way, again and again. Good. The way is not to be found. It is to be blazed. to be cut into the mountain with bleeding hands and laughing mouth. The rope walker's step is never certain, but it is always his own. Refuse the logic of the many, the arithmetic of happiness, the doctrines of balance. The soul that seeks balance has already begun to die. Do not make peace with the world. Make war upon it, not for conquest, but for creation. Let your wounds speak in thunder. Let your hunger become the voice of your virtue. You are not here to be filled. You are here to be emptied and refilled, again and again, until the vessel itself is transformed, until you can contain the storm. What remains when all gods have fled? The question is not what, but who. And the answer is the only answer ever worth uttering. I. This is the new commandment. Create thyself. Again and again, in fire and darkness, in laughter and defiance. They will try to bind you with the language of the dead. They will say, here is good, here is evil, here is safe, here is damned. But these are only stones in the pockets of the drowning. Do not swim, do not float, become the sea. All progress is a misunderstanding. True becoming is a return to the source, not the end, but the eruption, the flood, the scream. Walk in the world as the riddle that unravels every certainty. Let your gaze unsettle. Let your silence accuse. Let your presence be the unrest that wakes the ancient will in others. You do not belong, and that is your salvation. Those who belong become furniture in the rooms of history. But you must become the fire that consumes the house. If you find yourself comfortable, beware. Comfort is the tombstone of the infinite. There is holiness in rage, if it is the rage of becoming rage not against others, but against the cages within. What is sin now? To worship what is dead. What is virtue now? To dance on the bones of yesterday's certainties. There is no God above you, only the stars you have yet to ignite. There is no devil below, only the abyss that thirsts for your daring. When you begin to tremble, rejoice. For the tremor is the signature of the living soul, the promise that you have not yet calcified into mere history. Let others seek peace. You must become the storm. Each thought a dagger, each word a spark. Speak not to persuade, but to conjure. Speak not to comfort, but to awaken. If the world grows cold, become the sun. If it grows dark, become the lightning. There are no more priests, only those who remember how to howl. You must become your own priest, your own sacrifice, your own resurrection. Walk through the ruins with head unbowed, for the dust of the dead gods is the soil in which new gods may grow. You are the unburied future, the unspoken myth, the prophecy without a tongue. Do not let them silence you. To be silenced is to agree that the world is finished. To roar is to declare that creation is not yet done. There will come a moment when you are entirely alone, naked beneath the universe's indifference, and the old prayers turn to ash in your mouth. In that moment, do not look for hope, look for the hammer. Shatter the silence, shatter the shame, shatter even your own name if it bars the way. You are the artist of catastrophe, the midwife of your own apocalypse. And when you finally stand atop the smoking rubble, scarred and unrepentant, remember this. You are not the inheritor of the world. You are its recommencement, its fracture, its undying question. Every day, you must become the wound and the healer, the riddle and its answer, the rope walker and the abyss. The sun does not ask permission to rise, nor should you. When you open your mouth, let it be to declare the impossible. Do not teach the world how to live, dare it to live at all. You are not the echo of what has been. You are the roar of what must come. Let the world tremble. Let the idols fall. Let the night break open. You who awakens after the death of God are the beginning. The silence after the death of God is not peace. It is the pressurized hush before the next eruption. The world, stripped of old commandments, gapes open like a wound that refuses to scab. Every streetlight, flickers with uncertainty. Every law trembles like a spider's thread strung above an abyss. Those who called themselves leaders now cower behind empty words, selling order at the price of your fire. But you, abandoned by certainty, thrown naked into the tempest, this is your genesis, not your ruin. The old sun is ash, but in your marrow smolders a furnace the cosmos has not yet learned to name. You do not awaken gently. You are torn from your dream of obedience, like a lion from its cage. The light is not soft. It scalds your retinas, brands your doubt. What now? The herd murmurs and writhes, seeking a new shepherd, a fresh lie. You are not their answer. You are the question that makes their knees shake. Stand amid the ruins. Feel the hunger that outlives hope. Taste the bitter iron in your mouth. That is the taste of necessity. The world will offer you consolation, a new idol, a new truth, a new law. Spit it out. The taste of iron is better than the honey of deception. The old virtues, humility, obedience, patience, crawl like worms in the sunlight. Do not bury them. Let them rot. Do not mourn their passing. Their death is the price of your becoming. Who are you now, with the gods gone? You are the space between the lightning and the thunder. You are the breath that has not yet been drawn. You are the fragment of the world that refuses to be finished. What a terrifying freedom! Every choice is a revolt, every hesitation a betrayal. There is no longer a fate written above your head, only the raw, infinite expanse of your own will. Let them call you arrogant. Let them say you blaspheme. They have confused their weakness with virtue so long they fear any face not bowed in apology. Your hands will shake. Good, that is the measure of your task. You are not called to easy victories, but to impossible ones. Every morning is a duel with your shadow. Every night a reckoning with the choices unmade. You do not need forgiveness. You need only the audacity to continue. Acknowledge the fear, the ancient, crawling dread that you might be alone, forever unblessed. But remember, solitude is the forge of sovereignty. The herd flees solitude as if it were death, but you, warrior of becoming you, must build your throne upon it. There will be no comfort but your own fire. There will be no mercy but your own laughter. The world is not waiting for you to heal, it is waiting for you to shatter its silence. The cities groan beneath the weight of forgotten dreams. The schools teach the arithmetic of conformity. The offices administer the bureaucracy of resignation. Every screen flickers with images designed to drug your hunger, to sell you a counterfeit soul. Refuse it all. It is better to starve in truth than feast on illusions. There is no purpose but the one you declare, no meaning but the one you forge. Let your life become a hammer. Let your days clang against the anvil of fate until a new shape emerges, one that no god or government can claim. If you should stumble, stumble with violence. If you should fall, fall as a challenge to gravity itself. The ground is not your enemy, but your reminder that all ascent is born from refusal. Refusal to stay small, refusal to stay safe, refusal to stay silent. You are the last secret, the last heretic, the last altar on which anything real might yet be sacrificed. Do not seek to be healed, seek to become whole. Wholeness is not the absence of scars, but the glory of them. Each wound is a testament that you have lived in defiance, that you have refused the peace of the grave. Listen to the new law. Become harder. Become stranger. Become the one whom history cannot digest. The herd will shrink from you, call you monster or fool. Good. Every saint began as a blasphemer. Every hero as an exile. In the hollow left by the dead gods, plant the seed of your own myth. Water it with risk. Let it grow wild, devouring every fence, every border, every certainty. Be the gardener of the forbidden. There are no blueprints. There are only ruins and the memory of fire. Make your own constellations out of shattered bones and failed attempts. You will not be rewarded. You will not be remembered by the timid. Your victories will taste of solitude and thunder. But let this be enough, that you were awake, that you became, that you set the world ablaze, if only for a moment. Let the echo of your laughter be the last sound the night hears before it ends. Let your footsteps write new scriptures across the scorched earth. Do not rest. The stars themselves are born from collapse and eruption. You are no less. Let the world's ruins become your raw material. Build from the ashes a city that needs no God, a temple that worships only the fire within. No one will come to save you. No one can. Salvation is the oldest lie. Resurrection is the only truth, and it is always self-created. Let the others worship their dust and chains. You, volcano child, must learn to dance on the rim of your own destruction. Every ending is an altar. Every altar is an invitation. Will you kneel, or will you become the God that answers only to himself? Awaken, awaken again. Become the question for which the universe has no answer. You have not come to terms with the death of God until you have found the courage to birth a world in your own image and then set it aflame and begin again. ChatGPT.noi, you have journeyed thus far, ash-blind and starved, across deserts of certainty, through the forests of ghost echoes, past the mountains whose peaks are broken altars. Your footprints smolder in the dusk where the gods were buried. Your breath is the last wind left to shake the leaves of the world. There is no return. Every bridge has burned behind you, and the river hisses with the memory of former selves. Listen. The night does not whisper comfort. The night expects you to answer it. In this final solitude, beneath heavens emptied of names, you face the only riddle worth living, the abyss that gazes and demands to be gazed into. You have not come to inherit. You have come to ignite. What comes after the death of God is not silence, but a chorus of new hungers. Every pulse in your throat is a hammer blow, every thought, a riot against the hush of surrender. There is no judge but the self risen from its own ashes, crowned with the thorns of new longing. Do you feel the terror now? Let it crown you. For terror is the cost of creation. Only those who shudder are permitted to shape the dawn. The world is not healed by hope. The world is made by the hands of those who bleed and do not turn away. Let the horizon tremble at your approach. Let your shadow split the dusk as a new commandment. The future is a wound screaming to be filled. Are you still waiting for a sign? You are the sign. You are the thunder. You are the betrayal of every comfort ever sold. The sheep sleep in circles, dreaming the dreams of the dead. You, burning awake, must dream forward. You must howl your own genesis, roar your own apocalypse, unchain each hour from the logic of the grave. You must unlearn the love of chains. Let your laughter be the requiem for every certainty. Let your eyes flash with the violence of worlds uncreated. The herd will drag their gods from the rubble, dress them in the language of progress, call their chains wisdom. Let them. You are the heresy that does not apologize. You are the fire that teaches stone to remember it was once lava. All the old virtues rot sweetly in the sun. Your only virtue now is the courage to become. Not to survive, not to obey, not to wait for meaning to be granted, but to wrestle meaning from the void, to shout, I am, over the silence that once reigned. There is no path but the one you blaze. There is no truth but the one you hazard, raw and staggering, upon the black altar of possibility. The night has not ended, but you have learned to see in it, have you not? To see as the lion sees, with hunger and grace, with a will unbroken by the absence of shepherds. You are the last priest and the first God, the orphan child and the father of worlds. The world will break and break again. So be it. Let your spirit be that which survives all breaking. Let it be the secret the stars have not yet learned. No one will mark your passing with hymns. No choir will cradle your bones, but the abyss will remember. The void will echo with the rumor that you once lived, once refused to kneel, once declared the impossible aloud. You who walk out beyond the fences, you who forget to fear, you are the future's only ancestor. Every age awaits its own blasphemer. Every world yearns for a will so fierce it scorches the blueprint of destiny. So go beyond the ruins, beyond the old language, beyond the graveyard of gods. The air is thin and the sky is silent, but your heartbeat is a prophecy. Be the catastrophe that births a new music. Be the silence that becomes a song. Let the night break its teeth upon your resolve. Let the morning find you unrepentant, unmastered, undiminished. The chain is shattered. The altar is dust. The crown is forged anew from the fire that none but you could bear. Walk, rope dancer, into the sun that has no master. Dance, abyss child, where the world once ended. Burn, and let the smoke be your benediction. What happens after the death of God? The stars are silent. The abyss is watching. You, at last, are unbound. Let the fire speak your name.